Are depressed men weak?
I would definitely say that depressed men are weak. I was heavily depressed.
What does this have to do with anything,
and with that
though?
came clinical depression, anxiety disorder. I gave up on life. I didn't want to live, and that's because I was
Yes,
weak.
bro.
Coming out of that,
Depressed men are weak. What kind of question is this? Why did I click on this, bro? Yes, depressed men are weak. What? Bro. Most of, like, of how your day goes, or, like, how you fucking walk around, whether weak or strong, most of that comes from your emotions, bro. Like, your confidence, or if you're depressed, you probably don't have a lot of confidence, and that makes you weak. Yes. I cannot wait to see if the fucking blue team thinks that depressed men are strong, bro.
What I'm saying is, ultimately, the depression part of
Mr. 1950.
Right, yeah.
So
Who is this guy, bro?
Like when your family member dies.
Where'd he
Like,
get that nickname from?
But like you should.
He earned it, though. He earned that
I'm a
nickname.
depressed person. It's like I'm going through like a sad state right now. Like it's tough times, but you gotta pull through it, and that's what we all agree on. Is that being strong means coming out of that.
Yeah.
And not like, 'cause like.
Yeah, being strong is coming out of it, but when you are depressed, you're weak. You're not strong. You're strong when you're beating your depression, but you're weak when you are depressed. Simple. It's simple, bro. It's so fucking simple. Life is so simple. Some people are just fucking so dumb, bro. Life is just as simple as you fucking think it is, bro. Everybody's like, what's the answer to life? What's the answer to life? The answer to life is fucking living it, bitch. That's what the answer to life is. It's that fucking simple. Life is so simple. These people don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm fucking 17 years old and I'm more intelligent than them.
Killing yourself is the weakest to do.
That type of sentiment saying that like men who have depression are weak leads to men killing themselves. So
okay. So I don't even know what to say to that, bro. Like, so what? We're just supposed to
I want to push back against that. There are so many studies that show that men who hold those types of views are more than 2 times as likely to kill themselves. So I would, okay, well, fair, I mean, we'll give it,
Who else wants
options.
Both sides will agree, yes, being depressed is weak.
Aldo.
But they're going to say it's okay to be weak. And I think that we should say it's not okay to be weak. Because as a traditional man,
it's not okay to be weak.
Strong, even when...
Because if you are choosing to be weak, that's bad for your brain, man. It's bad for your emotions. Like I just said, emotions are very important. It's bad for your brain, bad for everything. You can't just be weak. You can't just be like, oh fuck, I'm gonna be weak today. No, you need to be strong. And I'm not that strong. I have fucking noodle arms. But this is not what being strong is about. Noodle arms is not what being strong is about.
We feel weak.
I don't agree with that.
That needs to be said. Anyway, I think
I don't agree with that at all. I am a gay man, and my experiences within the gay community and the depression that I've gone through is a completely different perspective from a straight perspective. But my ability to fight through that and to stand and the things
Wait,
that
how
I've
is this?
overcome have made
Oh,
me really
okay.
strong.
Never mind.
I've struggled with depression myself. I have ADHD. I'm neurodivergent, and that does predispose you to depression, anxiety, and other things. Despite that, I don't feel weak. I was a former top cop. I was the youngest cop in my state. I teach women how to beat up.
Yeah, motherfucker, of course you ain't weak, because you're not depressed. Of course you're not weak right now, because you're not fucking depressed. Bro, what? Is this dude fucking dumb? You are not depressed right now, bro. I know that for a fact. You just said that you were depressed. You have experiences with it. You're not depressed right now. You're telling us your whole life story. Shut the fuck up.
Men, so I don't feel weak despite having those struggles with depression and anxiety.
It causes men to have this complex that if they aren't enough for their family, if they're not enough for themselves, then who are they going to be enough for? Why are they even here?
If you let your depression win, you're weak. So you could be
Yeah.
depressed, but you still go through life. Like if you're just
Well,
laying in bed all day.
You are depressed. Wait. This is confusing me, bro. There's so many points being fucking said, bro. So much information going into my fucking brain, bro. I don't know. I don't fucking know, bro. I think when you are depressed, you're weak. That's just like, and then also what this guy's saying, if you let, I guess, I don't fucking know, bro. I guess letting the depression get to you is suicide, and that is weak. That is weak. It is. It is weak. You didn't beat your depression. You did not beat it, and that's not a strong thing to do. So it must be the opposite, a weak thing to do.
Then yeah, I would say you're probably weak. Well, coming from like a biblical standpoint, it says that the righteous man falls 7 times, but he gets back up. You will fall, and so that's okay, but
yep.
Back up. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Two different ways to argue this. I think
Gino.
we have one who's studied it, is very intellectual about it, and is very.
We'll give you a
passionate about
nickname
this
later,
thing.
sir.
And we have another study where this person is traditionally gone through a lot of masculine things, so showing their masculinity, and very much so gives that example of depression does not make you weak.
Chad, raise your hand.
Fucking.
Oliver? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, sounds like we have a clear winner. All right. We're still
Okay, Oliver. We're gonna have to give Oliver a nickname.
win elections like this.
All right, both sides have selected their speaker, so let's bring forward Alex and Oliver.
Alex B. Oliver.
All right, so the question is, are depressed men weak? I'm gonna let you guys see if you can come to a middle ground statement. You've got 8 minutes. Go for it.
I don't think I'm gonna give him nicknames this round,
I'm
chat.
coming from the perspective that I don't think that depressed men are weak. I think that depression is something that needs to be taken very seriously, and I think that
no
statements
shit.
like depressed men are weak are exactly the kind of rhetoric that perpetuates the problem, that leads to people being stuck.
Yeah, it does make the problem worse, but that doesn't mean that they aren't weak. Just because it makes the problem worse doesn't mean you can automatically just fucking poof, change it. Just, yeah, we know, bro. We know by when you're depressed, you are weak. And we know that escalates the problem, because being weak isn't a good thing. But you're still fucking weak.
Including myself, experience with depression, being stuck in this type of rut that you can't get out of. And the moment that I
This motherfucker's a good debater, though. Look at him.
People were telling me,
he knows what he's
really
doing.
Like, oh my God, am I a weak man? Am I, somehow lacking in some sort of way? The moment I, put that aside and just was like, no, depression is a mental
This guy's
illness.
probably gone to
Once I,
like
got
debate
past
school,
that
I think.
and, got the help that I needed. It was really the moment that I started to emerge from that. So I think that type of statement is part of the problem.
You can tell. You can really tell who's like.
Is staying in a state of depression, I would consider that weak, right? Depression in and of itself isn't weak, but when you label yourself as a depressed person, or you let that win you over.
Okay, well, you just fucking lost me, sir. I think your name is Alex. I'm not sure, but you just lost me, bro. You just said you aren't weak when you're depressed. Like, what?
But when you label yourself, right?
Oh, so it's only when you label yourself weak that you're weak. If you label yourself strong when you're depressed, you're just not fucking depressed. Bro, if you are strong while you're depressed, you're just not fucking depressed. That's simple. That's simple. Life is simple. I've been saying it. Life is simple. It's that fucking simple.
Depression in and of itself isn't weak, but when you label yourself as a depressed person, or you let that...
I completely disagree with you, Alex.
That is weakness.
So I would disagree, because I think it's important to define problems as what they are. We don't solve cancer by not calling it cancer. We acknowledge that a problem exists, and how we respond to that is very important. But I don't think saying...
Yo, I can never debate against some dude, because I feel like if I debated against some dude, I would have no fucking clue what he's saying.
Shouldn't call people depressed, because then they'll know that they're depressed, or that they'll rot in that sort of state.
No, but I'm saying like labeling yourself as a depressed person. Like saying that is part of my identity. If an athlete is injured in that second, I think he's weaker than he normally is.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's weak overall, but in that second, yeah.
Is it weak to say that he's injured? Is it weak for him to claim, I am currently injured? I want to get better, but I'm currently injured.
No, but he's weaker.
For sure, people are definitely...
Yeah, no fucking chance.
But I think, and maybe...
I can't watch this debate because these motherfuckers they're like, it's like fucking, I don't know, bro. It's like, I'm just in the middle with my AirPods in, listening to Netspend, and those two, they're just fucking talking. And I'm just ignoring them because I know I'm smarter than them.
Aren't correct. So when I hear the claim men who are depressed are weak, I think of, oh, they're less manly. They need to get over it. They need to power through and grit. And it's I heard this from someone who was over there from your
That's
side.
not what being weak means,
it's
bro.
A weak mindset. It's a type of thing.
Yeah, it's a weak mindset. Yeah, it is. It is. If you don't have that weak mindset, then you're not depressed. That weak mindset is being depressed. Because depressed comes all from the mind. All from the emotions, chat. Comes from that. And that's what being weak is. If you are strong, if your emotions are strong, then you're not fucking depressed, bro. It's that simple.
Thing, and I reject that because
I'm agreeing with him on the other team.
That people receive when they are depressed.
We all go through states of depression. I think no one here would argue that you're never going to be in a state of depression, right? Things happen where you do feel depressed.
There's depression, and then there's people who describe themselves as being depressed. I think it's important to
Oh,
separate
so you're
those
giving me a
two,
whole
because
definition
you can
now.
feel
I'm
sad.
not
Of
reading
course,
all
everyone
that.
feels sad. Everyone has mood changes.
Fuck off,
Depression is clearly
Jubilee.
defined as persistent, like feeling bad regardless of the things that are going on in your life, even when things are going well.
Right, but I don't think the prompt was saying that depression makes you less of a man. Because
Okay.
I'm weaker, right?
Sure.
I'm in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
A squirrel could beat me in an arm wrestling match, right? I don't think anyone here would say I'm less of a man.
Sure.
Right?
No.
And I'm glad that those
No.
connotations are not present.
Okay, cool.
In this
Yeah,
No.
but my stance is you gotta keep on moving. Like you just have to, and you might have to take medication. I'm not against it. I'm pretty sure some people on my side are gonna be against taking medication. But
I'm glad they're not up here.
You have to do what you have to do. Right?
Oh.
I feel like society.
Was that a
most of
sneak
the time
diss?
Is okay.
Was that a
They-
fucking
they
sneak
say that it's
diss?
okay
Ah,
to
shit.
opinion.
I really don't think that's largely the case. I think it definitely is in some subsets of the internet that you'll find, but I think most people, I think the way we treat mental illness is it's really hard for us to grapple with it because it's not visual. There's this idea that when you break your arm, everyone comes to sign your cast, but when you say you're depressed, they don't know what to do and run the other direction. And I think it's really important to break that type of stigma that mental illness.
I can't
is
do
a
this,
thing.
chat.
I'm not sure. I don't want to speculate. I'm
This
sure there's
doesn't
some
make
people
any
who don't
fucking
really think it's a
sense,
real thing. Oh,
chat.
you just need to get over yourself. You need to work harder. Back in my day, we were sad and we pushed through.
Well, we see it in TV, so we see it all the time, all over the place, where it's like, hey, I can't get up out of bed today. Oh, you know what? Mental health day. I don't disagree, but I think we are, as a society, letting that be a norm and letting that be okay, which I don't think it should be necessarily all the time.
Where's this
Because there's
conversation
times
gone?
where
This is lost.
you have to get
This is
something done,
completely
and you
lost.
can't just say, like, hey, I'm gonna take a mental health
Maybe I'm just an
parent. I'm
idiot,
not a
chat.
parent,
Maybe
but
I'm just an
pretty sure
idiot and I
parents
just
are
don't
depressed.
understand.
They have to care for their kids.
Yes, and I think you and I would both agree that like it's irresponsible if you're a parent or something of that nature to neglect your responsibilities because of mental illness. However, I do think it's very much the case that mental
Yeah, it
illness
is.
can be debilitating, can be crippling.
So weakness.
Yeah. Well, I guess
So
fine.
weak,
Okay, fine. Yeah, sure. Then you're defining
Yeah,
weakness
that is
in such a
weak.
way that it has no connotation behind it. If you want to say someone who is depressed is in a
Oh.
in a weaker mental state.
Yo, I'm not even gonna lie. This dude was just losing, but he just made a fucking comeback after that shit.
Because they're not able to function as well. Then I guess we agree, but that doesn't really get to any of the societal implications
Right,
where
and
there
I
might
think-
be some disagreement between
Yeah.
you and me as
And
a
I think we've
traditional
done that, but I
progressive
think
man.
we could agree that depression is weakness.
Yes.
Okay, so
It
I
is.
would agree with your literal statement. The problem is there are a lot of
This guy's doing too much, chat! He's doing too much! What have I been talking about? Life is so simple. I've been talking about how life is so fucking simple. Bro, you don't have to keep going after you just said that. Just end it with that sentence there. Admit, bro. Just admit that when you're depressed, you're fucking weak, bro.
Dude, when you
Just
say
admit
something's
it.
weak, it's like, oh, you know, it should be looked down upon. That person is doing something that.
No, because I'm weak, so I don't want to be looked down upon.
I agree, and I'm very glad. But I think if someone were to like look at you, oh yeah, you're weak. That would be, but it wouldn't just be a literal factual statement about the nature of the world as it exists. It would be a normative judgment upon you as a person. In many cases, if someone calls disabled people weak, would you just be like, yeah, we are? Or would you be like, you're kind of an asshole, man?
It depends a lot on context. I agree with you, but well, then we would have to take everyone's opinion on it and stuff like that.
Just we're up on time, so I want to push you guys towards offering a middle ground statement.
All right.
And
I
just
think
to
they're gonna
reiterate
find
the
it.
question,
I think they're gonna find the
was,
middle ground.
are
I think they're gonna
depressed
find it.
men weak?
I'll let you.
Sure. So here's, I guess, and this is why I would say I don't want to use the word weak. The use of the word men in the phrase makes it very gendered. If it was just are depressed people weak, then maybe I'd give a little more credence to this idea that we're just talking about descriptively what is factually the case. But I think when you insert men in there, there's this idea that depressed men are weak because men shouldn't be weak. Men shouldn't be burdened by their emotions or burdened by illness of the mind. It's just, something they have to power through.
This
so because
guy
of
needs
that,
to
here's the
fucking
middle
stop
ground that I think
yapping, bro.
you're welcome to
This guy
respect.
just needs to fucking.
Depression does not inherently make someone weak. Men are not inherently weak because they're
Depression makes somebody weak,
If
bro. Yes, it
you let
does.
that consume you entirely, and you shackle other responsibilities, or you claim that you have no responsibility for your own mental illness. Oh yeah, I'm mentally
Fuck
ill,
this guy,
therefore I
bro.
can
He's just
tweet
so dumb. He doesn't know the
anti-Semitic
things I do. I'm
not
smarter
talking
than
about
him.
That's real.
But so sorry about that. But regardless, so
Yeah. Even he's telling him he's doing too much, bro.
That's too long, but
Okay, can
Did
we
my
set
stream
a
end?
middle ground that if you're a man,
Did it
and
actually?
you allow your depression to win you over, then you're weak.
I allow you to win you over. I think there's a lot of different
Bro.
things going on there. I also
No way,
would
my
kind of want to, if possible, degender that idea. If anyone,
We're
if
on a
anyone,
gendered episode.
well, we are. You're right.
Like,
You're right. You're right that we
so-
are. You are correct that we are. However, I think it is true because men exist, and because men exist, women also exist. Women don't just not exist because we all have.
What is this guy talking
We're
about?
not talking about women in this instance.
I don't think that's necessarily the case.
What is this guy talking about?
Is inherently gendered.
Oh, my Wi-Fi is
agree
fucked,
with
chat.
both
If
this
you guys
episode.
don't,
Of course.
if
So,
the
Alex,
stream
what
randomly
was
ends,
your
it'll randomly
statement
end.
if
My
you
Wi-Fi
wanna
is fucked.
give us a draft.
A middle ground, I would say, if you succumb to your depression, then you are weak. If you allow your depression to take over your life and you don't seek help and you kind of just use it
Ooh,
as
I
an
actually like that.
excuse
I like that.
for your
I like
life
that.
or for your poor choices, and I would
I
say
d-
that's weak.
And I have one more question.
I do like
a lot
that.
of men who succumb to their depression.
But it's not really depression if you beat it in like. Being depressed is like being really sad for a long period of time. If you overcome your depression in like a week, you weren't depressed, bro. You were just sad. Like, am I RTing right now, chat? Is this an RT? Because I feel like that's like if you are. I don't know. If you let the depression take control of you, that's actually what being depressed is. So, I don't
ones
know.
who end up with a bullet in their head. Are they
Finally,
weak
bro,
in your
my-
mind?
I would say so, yes.
You'd say they're weak. Men who
Yes.
kill themselves because of their depression are weak.
Yes.
And I think that
Yes.
that exact idea
Most
is
definitely.
what leads more men to kill.
Yeah, but that's not the fucking argument, buddy. Fuck you, ad. But that's not the argument. That's not what we're saying.
Okay, so I don't, there's a strong
It's true.
disagreement there, and there's a lot to discuss there. But let's try.
Why
and
is this
make our way
quality so
back
ass
to
now?
What do you think is something that he would agree on? So he said, letting depression take over your life is not a good solution. So
Letting
you have,
depression
like, a
take
counter.
over
Do you
your
think it
life
makes
is
someone-
being
do you think it
depressed.
makes a man weak to seek medical remedies or to seek out treatment in
No,
that way.
I'm
Fuck
in a
no.
wheelchair right now. I have to see a doctor every 3
Sure.
months.
Okay.
So,
I'm glad to hear it.
yeah, no.
Okay.
If the pills are helping you in that, then
Bro.
go for it.
Yeah,
If you
going
need
to see a
get in the
doctor,
woods,
bro. You care
seek
about your
advice,
health. You're
whatever
fucking weak
it
as
is that
hell.
you need to do.
Honestly, there's probably
Okay.
some dude out there
Yeah,
who believes
I
that.
would.
Some
I don't think I
idiot.
really disagree with any
Whoever
part
you
of that.
are.
Okay, so it sounds like we're landing on if a man is depressed, he should seek treatment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Men who are depressed should seek treatment.
Men should seek treatment.
Awesome.
All right.
Nice. Nice job. They met in agreement.